Manchester City have beat Manchester United 3-1. Before we start the video, I am a Manchester United fan, but I try to stay as neutral as possible with these things. So anyways, we'll go ahead and start at the beginning here. So Manchester United, of course, everybody knows that they've been struggling this season. Ten Hag is on the verge of, not being fired. I don't know, but the future is uncertain. So this game starts out, and mind you, this was an incredible game. But basically, Manchester City took control. I think the game was like 71% possession to City and 29 to United, which 29 I feel is generous. But anyways, so Marcus Rashford scores an incredible goal from the freaking Player Tribune's front office, dude. I think it was like 25 yards out or something, right into the top corner, and it was that perfect shot that just hits the crossbar and bounces in. An incredible goal, and obviously he's super excited. He's running to the corner flag, doing his freaking signature celebration and everything. But it was such a good goal that you kind of forget the other two chances that he blundered. But yeah, 1-0, and United just hold on to that low block for the rest of the game. Vintage Jose Mourinho tactics. You love to see it. So like I was saying before, Manchester City are absolutely dominating this game, and that's just chance after chance, albeit like I think that they had like 23 shots or something in the first half, but most of them were off target, and you could tell that they were just trying to play around this low block and get shots off when they can, which eventually it did work with Phil Foden, but we'll get to that. So I wanted to talk about that Haaland miss because that was horrible. Like, I turned away mad because I didn't even want to see it go in, and then I realized he missed. Dude, how do you miss that? That is like a Haaland signature goal. Poacher's goal just right in front of it and completely shanks it. About 50 yards over the bar. It was crazy. I don't know how that happened. So anyways, Manchester United low block, straight dad in a recliner with a freaking beer, double-decker bus, and they are playing straight counter-attack against the City back three, which we know like John Stones is given a license to push forward into that midfield. So you basically have Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, and Nathan Ake in the back. And this has always been Manchester City's kryptonite to United, because United for a very long time were that counter-attacking direct team, and they were doing exactly that. And as I mentioned before, Marcus Rashford, yes, he scored an incredible goal, but he had like 2 or 3 other great opportunities that he completely messed up. And it was hard to really figure out exactly what United's positions were, because like sometimes he had Bruno Fernandes that looked like in a false nine, and then he had Rashford and Garnacho switching, and then Rashford went center one time. I don't really think that there was specific formations, because I think that they were just trying to play defensive. So like whatever positions they were in on the counterattack, they would just stick to that and run forward, So yeah, it goes into halftime, and then they play the stupid stat again. United winning at halftime, undefeated in 9 years, blah, blah, blah. I'm so tired of that, and I'm kind of glad that it's over. I hate little meaningless stats like that, and it goes past United. Like the little stats that they use just to fill airtime, it's so stupid. They would do that. They do that in the NFL all the time. Like, how many times did Tom Brady take a shit before the game? Like, I'm so tired of those stupid meaningless stats. Get rid of them, please. Anyways, yeah, so the first half ends. Great game, hardly any stoppages. And what was interesting is Manchester City were kind of targeting Johnny Evans, or more so just kind of letting him have open space, because they knew that he's not the best on the ball. And they were just trying to exploit that, and they did it really well. And I think, especially in games like this, like, City have 125% possession. A way that they can win, and a way that they did score a goal, is just wait for Manchester United to slip up, because that like Ten Hag still wants them to play out of the back. And with the injuries and everything that they're having, I mean, they played freaking Willy Kambwala in a Manchester derby. Like that was never in the plans. And I think that's how Erling Haaland got his last goal. But anyways, I want to go off on a side topic real quick. What the hell happened to Jeremy Doku? He was electric when he first started, and now he's just part of Guardiola's system. He was incredible when he first came, man. But now he's turning into like another Jack Grealish type player that is just kind of there for the tactics that they play to open up space. But anyways, yeah, the second half starts and more of the same. Speaking of Doku, they took him off and put on Alvarez, and that's kind of when everything changed. Alvarez is so good with his positioning. And with him and Foden moving around, players like Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri just started to really get into the game. So Foden was given the license to kind of move around a bit more, and then he scores an incredible goal. And Foden was incredible in this game. And of course, he's the man of the match, and he's the player that I'm using right now as well. But that goal that he scored was awesome. Kind of just cuts in, finds that corner. That's like a typical Phil Foden goal, from my opinion. But yeah, Alvarez came on, and it brings up a good point. It's like the quality of Manchester City subs versus Manchester United subs, and this has been a problem with Manchester United all season. They didn't have good squad depth to begin with, And on top of all these injuries that they've had this year, there's just absolutely nobody that they could bring in. They brought on Antony for Rashford, and I think a lot of people were pissed off at that, but you're bringing on Antony for defensive coverage. Rashford doesn't really offer that. We just did a video on that. So Antony comes in specifically to fit the tactics and offer defensive coverage, which I think his positioning overall for the tactics that Ten Hag wants to use is very good. He just has a confidence issue. And, you know, the injuries are just affecting United. I don't think that that was the main cause for why they lost today. I think that City, even if we had a full team, City always has the chance of winning. I mean, it's Manchester City. I mean, come on. And, you know, the danger of playing a low block for Manchester United, it's hard to get back in the game and get the game back on your side, get that momentum once you do go down or you go into a 1-1. It's always hard to do that. Mourinho was really good at doing it, but you have to have certain players that are good at being patient and have good composure, which Manchester United does not. So Phil Foden makes it 1-1, and then Phil Foden makes it 2-1, and then you just feel it. You know, the game is over at that point. I think he scored towards the 80th minute or 70, you know, somewhere in the 70s. I don't remember. I just kind of tuned out at that point. Like, I knew it was over at that point. And then Erling Haaland makes it 3-1. I'm not trying to rush through this, but I think even Manchester City fans can understand, like, when City goes 1-1 in that situation, you know that they're going to win. They just have too much experience in games like this, and I'm not trying to brush over it. It's a compliment for Manchester City. But very, very important game for City's title chances. They play Liverpool and Arsenal next. On top of that, they have the Champions League against Copenhagen, but they'll probably win that, no problem. And yeah, very important for City to win this one. They're going to go into that Liverpool and Arsenal game. That game against Liverpool is going to be incredible. I cannot wait for that. I'm sure I'll probably do a video on that. But yeah, oh yeah, you know, I had to mention, where did 8 minutes come from? And I'll probably have to do a video on that too, the stoppage time this year for the Premier League. Where did 8 minutes come from? I mean, I can sit here and talk about that and do all the math and everything, but I think everybody's on the same boat. Like, what are we doing with the stoppage time? 8 minutes? That's insane. It's just getting crazy at this point. But anyways, Manchester United, I'm worried about Ten Hag getting sacked. I don't think he should be sacked. I'm a Ten Hag in kind of person, but the amount of injuries that he's had to deal with, I think Ten Hag has showed when he has a full team and he has the players that he wants to play with. We saw it in the beginning of 2024. He went on and won 5 games in a row. I think that he needs to be given more time. But at the end of the day, we saw the picture on Twitter. Guardiola's head is more well-rounded, which almost meant a sure victory for City before the game even started. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Comment, let me know what you thought of the game. Fantastic game today. Fantastic games all weekend. Like and subscribe. And there's always some craziness in the football world. I'm sure I'll see you real soon.